I'd like to call the school district of Sturgeon Bay regular board of education meeting for Wednesday, April 15th, 2026 to order. Would everyone please stand for the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right, and Ms. Demise, can we have a roll call, please?
You bet. Commissioner Schultz and Commissioner House are excused. Commissioner Spritka,
Here.
Commissioner Howard,
Here.
Commissioner Cruz,
Here.
Commissioner Stefani,
Here.
Commissioner Jenner John calling once, twice. Last call. Commissioner Myers
Here.
and Commissioner Starr.
Here. Next, could I have a motion to adopt the agenda noting that we're going into closed session?
I'll make a motion to adopt the agenda, noting that we're going into closed session.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to adopt the agenda as presented, notating that we are going into closed session. Wisconsin State Statute 19.851C, considering employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility. And section 118.223 for the purpose of consideration of the renewal or non-renewal of a teacher contract and consideration of issuance of final notice of non-renewal. And then also we have the review of staff evaluations for nomination of 2026 Herbie Hauser Award. Action may take place in closed session, on closed session topics, and we will return to open session. Noting all that, we have a motion second in that. Further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. We have an agenda. So we first have the ladies here. What's going on in student council event?
So we don't have a whole lot going on since it's still kind of spring, but we're just kind of like closing things up since it's, you know, April. And we only have a month until graduation, so we're excited for that. But we're starting to do like more of like our fun things, I would say, at the end of the year. So we have our Six Flags trip, which is super educational. Calculus, physics, future business leaders of America, and student council, all going for this trip. According to physics, it's to see physics in action, but I don't think that's really happening. So it's just kind of like a fun trip for all of us to go to, kind of just see it, like just be together, have a fun time at the end of the year.
And then today, actually, myself and two other spring sport athletes, we attended the WIA leadership conference down at Stevens Point. So I just got back from that shortly. And it was very informational. There was about 5 speakers and 500 students total. So it just gave us the opportunity. It was girls soccer, track, and then golf. Then what we took and learned, we can take back and apply to our teams.
What was it? And then we also have our new officers for the upcoming year. So the media and secretary manager is Leah Hansen. Our vice president is Megan Selly, and our president is Alex Mellon. Next month, Maya and I will be here with Alex just to introduce her to you guys, and we're excited for that. I think it's gonna be a really good team.
And then also this weekend we have prom, and our theme is tropical, so we're all looking forward to that.
And then first week of May we have Teacher Appreciation Week, which is what is our favorite week. On Sunday we decorate the school like on the sidewalk, just like for our teachers. And then every day, Monday through Friday, we have somebody from student council bringing in like a dessert or two for the teachers in their lounge. And then on Friday, we host a lunch for them. We get subs from, I actually don't know, I think Fatso's, and we just do like a nice lunch for them. So that's fun.
And then also the last thing for student council, kind of gathering up at the end of the year and having some fun, we're going to do another boys volleyball tournament. And so it'll look similar to the fall, like we have captains with team shirts, and then there will be a prize for the winner. Hopefully seniors again. Yeah, that's really all we have. So,
That's,
still warming up from spring break.
Yeah, and no more blizzards, right?
Just fun.
In their last, that's right, unfortunately, in their last official report, board members, anyone question or comment for our ladies? Otherwise, like they said, they will be back next month to make kind of an appearance and introduction, hand off the baton, so to speak. And remember, in student council president or co-president fashion, you have to bring a treat to your last school.
he's kidding.
No, I think Jenna Seiler did that years ago, and so now, you guys, does at least one of you know how to bake really good stuff?
I mean, yeah.
Yes, I know you do, so just something to keep in mind.
It's
Otherwise,
not a thing, but that's all right.
anybody got a zinger for them, or even an easy one?
I just want to say thanks. Thanks for coming over.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This is great.
Wonders.
This is great. So no, thank you very much. Go have a nice night.
Thank you.
Makes the job.
Yeah.
Excellent. Next, we have the public comment section. I don't know if anybody's here for public comment. You are, of course, podium, but no, okay, good. Then I think we are down to an amazing thing now, which is recognition section. And this is for a very deserving board member, Tina Jenner Dunn, 21 and a half years. So we'd like to recognize her. I guess I'll just say, since I've been on the board and all of us, you give a perspective that we are going to miss. Because you know things that happened that honestly, no one in the room does, right?
Right.
You predate even the Dan and all of us here, so we're gonna miss that. You're gonna get some phone calls probably from me, you know, asking.
From you.
Yeah, but I really appreciate the time and effort, and you know, I just think back to some of the more probably challenging times in your tenure. Act 10 was probably one. I know that was very hard for everybody at the time. Thank you for service on that and to stick with it. And then we hit, I would think the next signpost was probably COVID. That was very interesting and challenging, but you know, you were wonderful during that, and I just, though, I mean, the COVID thing is the thing that I remember. I remember a lot of your comments.
We spent a lot of time together on those.
We did,
Many times.
we did.
Yes.
But your unwavering support of students and really trying to do that balance between students, teachers, and the public. I mean, I think you when I say public, I mean taxpayers, right? You really exemplify what we all need to strive for, because all three of those dynamics are incredibly important. And it's the only way that we have a school district as positive as I believe in know Sturgeon Bay is. So.
And my slogan, we only get one shot at them, so we have to do the best.
Yes, and you're so right.
So, right. In just a moment, what we'll do, I'll share what's on our certificate and the plaque. And then that way Tina doesn't have to stand at the podium like all night, right?
Yeah.
And then, so once we get to that point, we'll do a couple shots, right, up front,
Yeah.
like, with that. And then, so family will have a chance for a shot. And then I didn't clear this, but I did bounce it off of Ann. In addition to our shot with Mike and Tina up front, I'm gonna ask the family to come down forward after that so we can get a family shot. I'm quite confident that will be a Facebook popular shot, that people are gonna love that, and I know Tina will like it too. But before I read these two things, so I was thinking of how to word it just right. Jake Schultz and Tina would have been the board members who were on the board, right? The only ones left really from when I was hired. Jake had a work thing come up, so he should be back in town tonight, but unfortunately can't make it to the meeting as he had planned. And again, as some of you know, Jake's service was interrupted, right, when they went to the Philippines. So really Tina is the only board member as far as continuous service. Now in my 12th year, and obviously with her 21 and a half years predating it. For folks, maybe a couple of the lighter things, right? A couple other times she's thought about not running for the board again, right? But each time we were kind of seriously, but also joking, able to kind of hook her back, right? Whether it was the capital referendum, right? Where, you know, Tina would have loved to see, if not an all-in-one campus, right? Which is, we can all appreciate massive price tag in this day and age, but a part of our due diligence. Maybe at the very least, was there a way to do one elementary school in proximity? Right, so some of the different things and things you would say, and I remember when some of those numbers came back, right, where you it was kind of one of those tension breakers, lighthearted but serious, right, where you would point out like, okay, basically I'm finally giving up on my dream, right? We're not going to have an all-in-one school or campus or an all-in-one elementary. It's just too expensive. So this last time we kind of worked on Tina a little bit, right? Maybe she'll come back one more time. At the same time, we also, I know, shared with you what we're sharing now, that we really appreciate your perspective, your dedication, your service, and that there is a point at which there's other things you possibly can be working on, right? And I think we've got some generations here to keep you busy that we want to touch on. So again, I just seriously, personally and professionally, not only from kind of me and my family and how we ended up here, honestly, right? But I think all of the years and all the things you represent. So thank you very much, Tina. Thank you. The certificate of commendation presented to Tina Jennerjohn in recognition for her service to the children in Wisconsin Public Schools from November of 2004 to April of 2026, signed by the Wisconsin Association of School Boards President and Executive Director, or WASB for short, as some of us in the know have. We also have a plaque, again with the WASB logo on there, presented to Tina Jennerjohn. Thank you for 21 and a half years serving the students and families of the Sturgeon Bay School District, November 2004 to April 2026. Not too shabby.
Yeah, and you know, I really fast.
It does.
Really?
Yeah, I'm really good. Seriously, I mean, sometimes where we call really, but not really when I look back. One fast.
Yes. And I think you just shared it. But that comment, how many times I've heard you say, right, about our kids, only get one shot at it, right? Whether it's certain things and some of the decisions are easy and some are hard, or literacy work, right? That this board endorsed way before the state ever said, boy, we really need to do some things about it, right? Other things, right? Some of the difficult things around staffing, how you regularly point out, we only get one shot at them. We gotta get it right. Excellent. Let's go take a couple pictures here. Family, if you want to come and get the shot. In addition to what Spencer put out, and then we'll have you step up for the group picture after that. Let's do this. Well, what do you think? Probably the. You could do it. The plaque's probably a nicer even than the certificate, but.
I'm sorry, I'm putting my arm.
I'll get the SB in front. I'll try a few different shots. You're good. All right, excellent. While the family comes forward, let's give Tina a round of applause. All right, let's get the whole crew. Yeah, maybe have you wrap this way, because then sometimes when the flag gets in the picture, it really works really well. Yes, absolutely.
There.
See, yeah, we'll see how it looks here. Okay, then just the right spots. Plus, hey, little Clifford Clays representing, very nice. Just gonna try a few different angles here. Let me take one with the podium out of the way, just in case that messes it up. If you smile big enough, go to school tomorrow, just kidding. Go this way also. That is a good looking group right there. All right, anybody else that needs a picture on the way?
Yeah.
I'll share these, Steven, and then Spencer will get them.
Put in for that sports team photographer.
Yeah, no.
We might have another career.
This is the max, this is the
Yeah,
max.
this is all it is.
Thank you guys, thanks for coming.
Thank you, everybody, for coming.
Yeah,
You gotta be proud of her.
thank you for sharing her.
Yeah,
That's right.
all that time.
And a couple more hours we get her too, right, so.
Yeah.
I get her every day.
Of course.
Thanks again, everybody.
See you, have a good night.
Officer Jenner John, we'll see you in the morning. And others. Abby, you too.
That's pretty lucky to know that. Family of yours is pretty.
The worst.
I know.
Good thing. That's great. Honestly, you two ladies, you don't have to stay. You can get out of here.
Maya hasn't been in school in so long, she needs to sit here for a while. She's been traveling all over the place.
Now, you're welcome to stay, but you don't have to stay. It's,
Thanks, ladies.
yeah, have a great night.
Yes, I got it. Hey, actually, yes, thank you. I will.
We could do the recognition all night, but if we're gonna move
Yeah,
on,
let's
we're-
move on.
we'll move
Yeah.
on, we'll move on.
And,
All right.
while I'm thinking of it too, just with that, Tina's getting first crack at some of the diploma, signature stuff. So
Yeah.
we'll be dusting that off for the rest of you fine folks and a couple of our, folks that couldn't be here tonight and whatnot. Anyway, we'll be doing that starting in the May learning session. So Mrs. Mellon had talked with me and has talked with Mrs. Demise to make sure we can get that and go through the usual process. So that is coming because Lauren wasn't kidding when she said that graduation is next month. All right, just thought I'd throw that in there. Sorry to go just off for a moment there.
That's good. So now we're down to the consent agenda. The consent agenda, consists of the following. One, approve the minutes from the regular meeting of March 18th, 2026. Two, approve the March bills. That's approve the bills from last month. Will be recommended at the end of the consent agenda. That's in your packet. Three, accept grants and donations, and they are as follows: $500 from Gina Grenfell for the elementary playground, $625 from the Sturgeon Bay PTO for the kindergarten new zoo trip. The Raybrook donated towards the senior night hypnotist, and $750 from the Sturgeon Bay PTO for the 5th grade Rock Island field trip. Thank you to everyone associated with providing the support to our district and young people. Point 4, accept resignations and retirements. We have Honey Magolan, who is resigning from her special education teacher associate position at the Sawyer Elementary, effective at the end of the school year. Avery Burns is also resigning from her middle school, high school choral teacher position effective the end of the school year. A motion to approve the consent agenda as presented is recommended. Can I have a motion from someone? Nope. Oh,
I thought I heard so.
did I hear someone?
No, but I'll make the motion to approve
All
the
right.
consent agenda.
All right,
Alright,
and you're second. So we have a motion by Commissioner Spritka and seconded by Commissioner Jenner John. It feels great to still say that. For, to approve the consent agenda. Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. So now we are down to the operations agenda, which starts with filling oath of office by newly elected board members.
Yes, I'll touch this and then we'll take care of that. The Board of Canvassers met April 13th, so it's past Monday. It's a required step that verifies election results. The group's canvass of the results provided to the district did indeed match what was reported previously, so all good there. New terms of office begin April 27th, 2026, which of course is the 4th Monday in April.
Board Clerk Angie Cruz will administer the oath of office here in a moment and swear in the elected Board of Education members, so they're ready to begin their service, starting at the beginning of next week. Allison Haas, Damian Howard, and Cliff Wind will each serve 3-year terms expiring in April of 2029. Thank you to everyone who considered running for our board, who went through the process of filing paperwork to run for the board, and also congratulations to our newly elected and returning board members. It's in my report, but I'll throw a shout out here since we started with the Board of Canvassers. I want to thank Angie Cruz for her time and participation in that. Thank Ann Demise for getting that all organized, because otherwise that process can take a couple hours, but it was slick. I also want to thank both residents, Amy Stevens and Steve Abrahamson, who also were in participation. And again, Ann had it all organized, so the 4 of us could quickly go through, check all the ticker tapes where all the wards and make sure everything matched up, which it did for us. I think one of our neighbors, there was a lot more going on with write-in candidates, and I have the feeling their Board of Canvassers lasted considerably longer than ours did on Monday. So again, thank you to all of them, and thank you to Ann. So at this point, if we could have Damian step forward, Cliff step forward, Angie has her sheet. Oh yeah, and we have Allison is out of town on work right now. She's going to be coming in at 8 o'clock Monday morning to go through the process so she can be sworn in and file her snap a couple pictures while Commissioner Cruz does her thing with her.
So I state your name.
Cliff one. I, Damian Howard.
Yep, have been elected
Have been elected
to the office of the Board of Education.
to the office of the Board of Education.
Swear or affirm that I will support
I swear or affirm that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
and the Constitution of the State of Wisconsin,
and will faithfully and impartially
and will faithfully and impartially
discharge the duties of said office
discharge the duties of said office
to the best of my abilities, so help me God.
to the best of my abilities, so help me God.
That's it. Do you need a pen? Damian, do you need a pen or?
I gotta do it.
Okay, otherwise, here you go for, there's a signature line on there. Mr. Wynn, thank you. Mr. Howard, thank you.
I had him as a
And then-
teacher.
Yep.
Yes. He was in my first class.
Forgot about that.
So.
I did hear that somewhere.
That's, so I have more history than you, but not the board. But I do know some of the board.
You do indeed.
He was, his senior year, my senior year was his first year.
Yeah.
There we go.
For real?
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
And Mr. Wynn was subbing today. You have a little more subbing to do yet this
Yeah, I
week
got
before
to-
you officially, begin your term of office.
Thanks. Good job, Angie.
Huh, Tina, you could sub.
That's a great idea.
Wait 75 days, you can go.
Yeah, I don't think we have the same gap between the service and the retiree.
Okay, we are now, can we move along to the,
They're just doing the signature. Go ahead.
oh, I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine.
We'll move along to the appoint delegate for the CISA 7 annual convention.
Yeah, I can cover that real briefly. Each Board of Education has a statutory duty to appoint a member as its representative for the purpose of determining the composition of the Board of Control and to cause a convention to be convened in accordance with 118.02 Wisconsin statute. Again, for CISA 7 down in Green Bay. Delegate last year was Allison Haas. The delegate convention will be held this year on Wednesday, May 13th at 6:30 p.m. at CISA 7. You see the address there, kind of by the fairgrounds, not far from the Fox River down there, for those that know where that is. Commissioner Haas did say, even though she's not here tonight, she'd be available to attend, but if someone else were interested, by all means, that would be fine. So I'm just going to say a motion to appoint a representative to the CISA 7 annual convention is recommended.
I'll make a motion to appoint Allison House to the CISA 7 annual convention.
I'll second that.
All right, we have a motion by Commissioner Jenner and seconded by Commissioner Cruz to appoint Commissioner Hawes to the CISA 7 representative. Do we have further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. See, that'll teach you for missing a meeting.
And this is one of those things, as Ann and I had reviewed it, like, oh, because we have our board reorganization meeting, right? Great chance for me to remind folks of that next month as a part of our normal operations, right? In policy, we do that every year once, right? The election and people are into their new terms, except with the way that meeting falls and the way the delegate assembly thing pops up down at CISA, it's like, oh, we can't really wait for the reorganization meeting because it would have been too late. So we squeeze it in tonight.
Next, we're down to the approved professional staff salary ladder for 2026-27.
Yeah, and really, we threw it in brackets for the background document, right, everybody? It really deals with the professional staff or teacher compensation. For the good of the record, I'll read some of this. I won't read all the additional context at the bottom because the board hears this multiple times a year. But excuse me, but I will start with the top for the record. Professional staff salary ladder is Appendix A. The professional staff salary and supplemental pay guide, which typically receives a first reading, as you know, in the May regular board meeting and a second reading / approval in the June regular school board meeting. However, as we've done in the past, we thought it was appropriate to have the board approve teacher compensation in tonight's operations agenda prior to approving those returning teacher contracts, as we know in our next agenda item, since it would be an addition for those already at the top of that ladder, if you will. In alignment with the discussion that occurred as part of our annual compensation review process this winter, right, that involves board reps, teacher reps, et cetera, as well as our March learning session, we recommend a longevity compensation revision that includes adding an additional $500 for the 5 people who would be, again, returning or ending up at the top of the ladder that would otherwise, right, not receive compensation, as we said, or an increase, excuse me. Based on discussions last spring and this year, it'd also be important to point out a couple of things. First, a majority of returning teachers received a double increase, quote unquote, for 25-26, consisting of a $1 increase of 2 ladder rungs compared to the 24-25 salary. Second, as we looked ahead to 26-27, right, teachers would progress to that next step on the salary ladder. To summarize then and strive for clarity, this means the vast majority of returning teachers are receiving the equivalent of 3 ladder steps over a 2-year time period, meaning 25-26 and 26-27. The additional context, I'm not going to read that all to you, right? We have that summarized in the guide, gone through it. You've seen the meeting minutes. Our teachers that are engaged in the process are well aware. So maybe just to move it along, we'll hit that, right? The additional note of context, right? We've also talked, as we do each year, about different ways of looking at that in the future, right? From small updates to a major update of the ladder, going off script here, right? Or could just get rid of the ladder altogether. If get to a point where for staff and or the district, that would be helpful. So a motion to approve professional staff compensation for 2026-2027 as presented is recommended.
I'll make a motion to approve professional staff compensation for 26 to 27 as presented.
Seconded. We have a motion by Commissioner Starr, seconded by Commissioner Howard to approve the professional staff compensation for 2026 and 2027 as presented. Further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. So now we're down to approve individual contracts for returning teachers.
Yes, and Mrs. Demise has at your spot, right, the usual spreadsheet, just so you're clear if there was any question as far as specific teacher information, dollar amounts, et cetera, right, since that has that information. I'll go back to the notes. The state of Wisconsin requires returning teacher contracts to be issued by May 15th of each year. Annual reminders that we include the following. Returning teachers are those teachers who are not retiring or resigning, whether at the mid-year or end of the school year. Returning teachers are not teachers whose positions are not continuing next year, either because of being a temporary position or because the position is being eliminated. Additionally, third bullet point, as the board has discussed in the past, a teacher on a plan of assistance does not move up the salary ladder, but remains at that same rung as they were at current year. And then just a little reminder, because sometimes newer folks to our school community get a little confused, right? We know the board typically approves compensation for non-teaching staff member groups in May after we take care of teacher compensation first, right? Really with our primary employee group as it should be, after we address that this month. A motion to approve individual contracts for all returning teachers as presented is recommended.
Make a motion to approve individual contracts for all returning teachers as presented.
Second.
Commissioner Starr made a motion, Commissioner Jenner seconded it to approve individual contracts for all returning teachers as presented. Further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Now we're down to approve the virtual learning coordinator position.
Yeah, we have one staff member to approve tonight. And again, the board has heard quite a bit, especially from Director Ferry, but also other principals, right, over a period of time, really, about the increased demand and desire post-COVID from some of our kids, families, et cetera, and how to try to navigate that. The board retreat at the start of February, right, you heard quite a bit about that, and the group really had some good dialogue. So here we are with approving a coordinator position. So Director of Special Education's Student Services, Lindsay Ferry, is pleased to recommend Emily Borkenhagen for the virtual learning coordinator position. Emily has earned a bachelor's degree in elementary education from the University of Wisconsin-Oshkosh. Since earning her degree 5 years ago, she's been employed as an elementary school teacher in Luxembourg-Casco. Emily is currently earning her master's degree in administration and curriculum and instruction. Emily is coming to Sturgeon Bay highly recommended by her principal, as she shared her strengths are in communication, organization, and planning. These skills were highly evidenced throughout her interview as she came prepared to share her 30, 60, 90-day plan in sustaining and growing Sturgeon Bay School District's virtual learning options. The team unanimously selected Emily to join the team and are very excited to begin to work with her. A motion to approve Emily Borkenhagen as a virtual learning coordinator beginning with the 2026-2027 school year is recommended.
I move to approve Emily Borkenhagen as the virtual learning coordinator, beginning with the 2026-2027 school year.
Second.
All right, we have a motion by Commissioner Cruz, seconded by Commissioner Meyer to approve Emily Borkenhagen as the virtual learning coordinator beginning with the 2026-2027 school year. Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Now we have to approve leaving the health insurance consortium. We had talked about this last month, I think. I know we did it in a learning session much, but I believe we even mentioned it last board meeting.
Yeah, we were prepared to do so if necessary last meeting. We weren't quite there. So I'll just hit the notes quick. As carryover from an item on last month's agenda, we again have an item to approve the withdrawal from the NEW Health Consortium. As expected this month, we now have a clear picture from our neighbors, as well as what is the best path forward, we believe, for our school district. As noted in our March meeting, following Gibraltar's exit from the consortium earlier in the month, Southern Door had also decided to withdraw from the consortium. Currently, that leaves only us at Sebastopol. And again, Sebastopol and us have been in close communication. Following last month's board meeting, both we and Sebastopol wrapped up interviews of potential new health insurance brokers in late March before break. After independently working through each of our processes, Sebastopol is going with a different broker recommendation than the one we are bringing to you. So therefore, in talking with Sebastopol, it appears a withdrawal from the consortium is appropriate from our perspective as well. So a motion to approve Sturgeon Bay School District's withdrawal from the NEW Health Consortium is recommended.
I move to approve the Sturgeon Bay District's withdrawal from the NEW Health Consortium. Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Spritka and seconded by Commissioner Starr to approve Sturgeon Bay School District's withdrawal from the new health consortium. Further discussion?
I have a question.
Yes.
How long does that mean the district without?
Yeah, we have insurance coverage and in the very, actually, as we look at the next couple items, we'll have to act on the one and not the other one just yet. But we will continue, right, to have coverage. We will continue to have a broker advocating for us. It just, it's a shift away from the group, right? Because as you and others know, right, we had the larger group, really Door and Kewaunee counties. And then we kind of got down to the Door Kewaunee group was really Kewaunee plus Washington Island. And then the NEW in essence became Door County, the four mainland districts. And then with two of those breaking away, really in essence, Sebastopol got to a point where, okay, the group has served us and the others very well over the years. And now these things kind of ebb and flow. I've been told by others, and Jake lives with this a little bit more than I do, but like our group actually stayed together quite long compared to most. So yeah, it's, we'll continue to have, you know, someone advocating for the district as far as our budget standpoint, as far as providing benefits to staff. Again, thanks to both Wayne and Andy who sat in on some of the things that lead to what we'll talk about with number 9. We had teacher reps involved and they were feeling good about what occurred too.
All right, thanks, Dan.
Yeah, thanks for checking in.
Will there be any, I mean, because Sebastopol and us are the last two in this consortium, is there anything else that has to be like dissolved because of that?
Yeah, good
Are we
question.
responsible for?
As Jake has reviewed the bylaws, I think would be the right terminology. It's like, well, theoretically, there could probably be a very last NEW health insurance consortium meeting just officially dissolving. That being stated, as Sebastopol and us have been talking, and they were on break when we were on break and getting through all the brokers, we thought, well, let's get through all that. If we officially need one very last meeting, so be it.
Yep.
But let's just keep this kind of moving forward. Good question.
Yeah, kind of what we talked through last time.
Yeah.
Why be a group of one?
Yeah,
That's really what I'm doing here.
Yeah.
So,
For sure.
And I think, just so, you know, this group's clear and anyone in the future, if we ever wanted to get, right, if things happen and change, and we wanted to get a group going, that could occur. Like even the NEW label, we did it that way. It wasn't limited to only Door County districts.
Yeah.
Right? It would be any qualifying entity, basically. Could have been a district from elsewhere or another type, the proper type of group, maybe from a municipality or whatever happens to be that could get together. We could still get that going again in the future. Because again, we all know with health insurance, eventually something's going to have to give, right? It's disruptive change is bound to occur because it can't continue on the track it's on.
And I think anytime that we can try to have a like theory of how we would move ahead with other school districts, obviously we want to try to partner with them to lower the costs.
Sure, for sure. And I think honestly, even this process, as we talked with brokers, no, all the districts didn't talk to all the same, but there was overlap. And so whether we were in communication with Gibraltar or Sebastopol, primarily probably the three of us, we're talking with this person, we're talking with that, like a couple of our brokers talked to us one day, Sebastopol the next or vice versa. One of the ones we talked to is a key one for Gibraltar right now. So even with that, while we're not officially partners, we still work together.
Yep.
So I think with, if there isn't further questions, I'd like to call the question on this. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Yes.
Yeah, oh, and I was, sorry, you're finishing. I was gonna say number 8, we're not
Yeah.
quite ready for. No, it kind of connects to number 9, but we'll be circling back with you. So again, for anyone maybe watching this recording, whether tonight or in the future, number 8 simply says, it's all right if I just go to that, right?
Yeah, please.
Approve health insurance renewal new plan. Okay, so we know we have a viable option. But as we can touch on a little bit or a lot, depending on your desire, with the very next agenda item, number 9, about the new broker, they're in essence going to do a quick search on our behalf to see if there's something that's even more advantageous to the district than what we're already aware of that you've heard from Jake in our budget projections before. So we'll leave number 8 for now. Could swing back to it as early as a very brief special meeting leading into our learning session at the beginning of May. Anything I missed there, Jake? Okay. Number 9, should I keep
Yep.
going? All right, so approving a health insurance and worksite benefit broker. All right, after working with some board members, teachers, staff representatives on health insurance broker interviews the afternoons of March 18th and 23rd, the administration is excited to recommend Howden as our next health insurance and worksite benefits broker, starting with the July 1, 2026 insurance renewal. Again, think Jake really worked on this part of the wording, so I appreciate that, so everyone understands. And kind of plays a little bit off of your question, maybe, Damien, like, it doesn't mean right now, all of a sudden, we're without insurance or whatever, right? M3 is our current broker, we're still a part of this, getting us through the end of this year. This is moving forward. I'll continue. The process of investigating the possibility of working with a new broker began earlier this spring, as we've been going through, right, that frustrating health insurance renewal process. In the last month and a half, we've seen half of our NEW health insurance consortium opt to withdraw. We took this short-term turbulence to make sure we are working with the right partners who can help us navigate long-term goals while not losing sight of what is needed, certainly in this next short term looking at next year. After bringing in 4 brokers for interviews, we felt we had 3 very good companies that would be great to work with. Ultimately, though, Howden ended up rising to the top of the list. A multinational company, Howden has a solid presence in Wisconsin, an experienced team that has many years of experience with public schools that will be dedicated to our district. In speaking with one of their references, it was noted that the Howden team is always looking ahead, does a great job advocating on really that district's behalf and sharing information with the district staff. This reference also shared that she has worked with many different brokers over the years, and her experience with Howden has been extremely positive. She does not see herself working with anyone else going forward. Motion to approve Howden as our health insurance and worksite benefit broker is recommended. And again, after we go through that process, if there's an ancillary comment or a question, we can certainly get through that after we have a motion, et cetera.
Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve Howden as our health insurance and worksite benefit broker.
Oh, secondly.
And we have a motion by Commissioner Starr, seconded by Commissioner Spritka to approve Howden as our health insurance and worksite benefit broker. Further discussion?
I would agree with the assessment of Howden, from the one meeting that I had with them. It seemed like in that meeting that, the teacher representatives were in favor of that too. Have we had any other feedback from teachers?
Yeah, I would say, based on our reps, right, of the 4, like, we pretty much were like, okay, probably not the one, right? Everyone was there was consensus there. And then of the other 3, everyone I've talked to, or the discussion or the follow-up, Jake as well, was like, any one of those 3 would serve us well, right? And some people were like, well, I may have had this one a little ahead of this one, or this, that type of thing.
Yeah.
But as we've unpacked that with folks, I think there was no doubt that people felt Howden had a great deal of resources, right? As like Wayne would recall, so like a presenter from one of the other 3, or one of the other 2, I should say, like, okay, is a former teacher. So the teacher's like, I kind of liked her delivery, but then, yeah, that's true. She used to be a teacher, like, and we thought that company would do a good job too, but we kind of thought the other 2, and as we narrowed it down, overall amount of resources, staff available, some of the comfort, making sure that would work, serve everyone, but also would dovetail well with Jake and Brenda in the business office and all that. It just kind of got to a point where, Howden just was right there.
Roast of thought.
So on that second day, a lot of the teachers that were there representing their group, Sandy.
Yeah.
Were very positive on this kind of final 2 that I think it did the due diligence on.
Yeah, we did references on
Some
that.
extra background checks, and that's, so they definitely have buy-in. That's great to the rest of the staff.
They're the ones.
Right, they're gonna use
So
the
let's make sure that they want it, right?
Yeah.
And I think a couple of them probably that have been, how shall I say, teacher-wise, involved in our compensation meetings and process, maybe even more so than some of their colleagues. We're just kind of like, hey, what do you guys think? Here's what we saw, and all that kind of stuff. So that was positive.
Good.
And I think every one of the teacher reps, if they were here, they'd say, I learned anywhere from a fair amount to a lot, even in just those sessions and our debrief.
Yeah, great.
So that was good.
Good. If no further questions, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. So now we're down to reports. Legislative CISA, any committee seminar or committee or seminars to report. I think we're gonna start with the middle school, the high school, where we're not having that, the reports in your packet. But not gonna have a podium person. Middle school, we have.
Yeah, maybe as Mark's coming forward on kind of that legislative front, right? We've seen information and I've seen verification as well, and I included it in my report, but the concept of, right, we have Assembly Republicans have been talking with the governor, right, about a package that is some sort of tax relief rebate, something or other for taxpayers in our state, which of course is very welcome for not only our personal standpoints, but the work we do for the school district. So they're still working through that. They have agreed in theory that yes, they want to either fully fund or at least much more closely fund the special education funding levels that we were all told initially when the budget, right? And then there's some other pieces from there. So we'll see. So they're still working through that. The intent is for something to occur. We had legislators at our CISA superintendent meeting last Friday. Joel was there along with some colleagues, and they spoke about, hey, we're still working on it, special session, so forth. Something should be occurring. We just can't say exactly when that's going to be, or, you know, in the final negotiations, how that's going to work. So should be positive for taxpayers and school districts. Time will tell.
Quick question.
Oh, yeah,
on that.
on that, yeah.
Has there ever been, you know, and I don't know if they still do it, the Door Kiwanee government days? You know,
Oh, yeah.
legislative days. still do
Legislative
that.
day. Yep, that's
legislative.
every other year.
Has education ever done anything like that? Where
Yeah,
like, you
well-
get groups of, you know, a couple
Yeah, oh, yeah.
teachers and board members, all from a region or
Yeah,
from a
I
state?
wouldn't say Door and Kiwanee have partnered specifically on the education front per se.
Yeah.
But yes, there are a variety of groups that have different advocating, you know, advocacy days, I should say, down in Madison. I would say probably when it comes to like regional superintendents and legislators meeting, probably the group that has done that the longest would be the CISA 6 group out of Oshkosh and the Valley, that part. Our CISA 7 group is newer to it. However, like Joel has attended some of the CISA 6 because they had done that longer. And there's a reason they got started. So if some of you recall, so state politics, so State Senator Luther Olson, right? Very powerful Republican for a period of time, former school board member. His wife was the CISA 6 administrator, Joan Wade, for a number of years. So they had kind of partnered on bringing superintendents and legislators together. So that's why CISA 6 has such a long-standing tradition. Joan is not there anymore, right? Luther is out of the state senate, but that tradition continued out of Oshkosh. And then we kind of got ours started in the last couple of years. I believe down in CISA 1, they do some of it as well out of Milwaukee.
And we can always participate in a regular legislative day.
Yeah, there's different ways, yeah.
Talk about anything.
But yeah, I mean, the dialogue is really important, right? And that's, I think, in the world today, there's not enough of that happening in a constructive fashion about how do we serve people, not just toe the party line, et cetera.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Mark, all yours.
Just to remind everybody and all the viewers that, due to the weather, the statewide tornado drill has been canceled throughout the state. That was gonna be practiced tomorrow. We're gonna have a middle school dance this Friday, so that's gonna be a lot of fun, followed by, if you're out and about, 4:30, yes, right, 4:30 to 4:30, 7:30 on Friday as well. Head over to the Rod and Gun Club, 3210 Matthew Road for a whitefish dinner or chicken tender dinner, $17 and $14. We do thank the Bailey Harbor Fish Company for providing all the whitefish, and Ace Harbor for helping sponsor this event. It's a great event. Remember, you were my waiter a year or two ago.
Yes, I will be there too. Yeah.
A couple other key events that are coming up. We're gonna have breakfast honoring students who exemplified the Clipper sale qualities that we're pushing out in our school for our positive behaviors. That is on April 24th. April 30th, we're having a UW Oshkosh math meet. Mr. Siegel's been leading the team. They did a fantastic job of this will be their fourth meet that they're on this year. And then if weather permits, we'll have a track meet at Southern Door on April 30th. And then if you watch the little Facebook page too to see on the following day on May 1st, we're bringing back the cardboard regatta over at the YMCA. Well, fortunate to partner with them. So that'll be a lot of fun. That's with the 7th grade team. So that's kind of the up and comings and the events happening at the middle school. So, and we are getting close to wrapping up forward testing. Got about 196 tests left. Tomorrow's by our last day. This week we're testing, and then we'll to start working on makeups next week. So going well. So appreciate all the kids putting hard work in.
So just out of curiosity, did you strategically talk about the tornado drill and the middle school dance back to back?
Yeah. We did it for the parents.
That's a chaos. I'm like a hurricane. Just checking.
All right, Mrs. Smullen is next for Sunrise.
And it is one of those things, right? I think some of you know, right? We have the annual severe weather drill that goes, it's across the state. the National Weather Service, I literally saw an email just like in the last 2 hours, and then other entities, right? We usually see it from the county is how we typically get it, but putting it out that with all the weather that's been going on, maybe it's best not to have it at all this year, rather than even try to say, let's have it a week from now. The flooding, the storms, they're just like, nothing going on with that right now.
It is a bit ironic though.
It is.
It is. The locust will be here next week.
It is. You never know what's coming. Greetings, Katie.
Hey, all right, so we are also wrapping up for testing. We were actually into makeup tests, so we got a year, so our fifth graders go over to the YMCA. This year, we're doing a little different, 1 week at a time, so it's like a super swim. Like, so, Mr. Deggendorf's class is there right now, and then next week, Mr. Paralero's class and Miss Tons, and, really proud of them. We've got a couple like brand new, like never, like very afraid of the water swimmers, and they are in the water and they're trying, and it's really vulnerable, and they're learning, and it's not only just wonderful, but it's like life-saving potentially, like, because we're surrounded by water. So I'm just really proud of that partnership with the YMCA, and thankful for Mr. Retzlaff organizing all that. So I stopped by today and I checked on them, and it was going well, all in different groups by level. Another cool program that we started is called the Playground Peer Mediator Program. So students had to apply, write a little essay, a little paragraph about why they wanted to be a playground peer mediator to help solve problems with friends. So they have a little red vest or like a little safety patrol. It's pretty cool. This is our second week, and they they mainly wander around right now, but they have been trained about what's neutrality mean, like, and how do you listen to both sides and then mirror it back. So I feel like they got some good training, and they're out there, and so far, I mean, I don't know, it's seeming more peaceful, and so we're gonna keep at it. It's something we kind of work together to help build leaders among our students, and so we want to see them do that, but they do take pride in their little red vests, and we're just gonna keep at it. So field trips, upcoming field trips, we go to Madison next week, the fourth graders do, so that's all the work has been leading up to that big trip. This year, Miss Feaster's organized field trips to the Third Avenue Playhouse, so that's gonna be really exciting to get a backstage view and learning, and then we'll be going to the Miller Art Museum to see the beautiful high schoolers art display, and then learn about the library. We have a little scavenger hunt for them, so getting ready for summer reading, because learning doesn't stop. We are good to keep going. That's all I have.
Did the kids get a whistle or anything?
No whistle.
They're just checking.
I don't know if I want to do that.
Probably, you're probably better equipped to answer that than
Yeah.
Tina, you were gonna say.
I heard from some of the fifth graders that they're taking piano.
That is,
That is really
it's so
cool.
cool. I have to tell you, Mrs. Feaster is so neat. So they all have their keyboards, and so she's teaching them piano. Then there's a couple who have piano lessons outside of school, so she like differentiates, sends them to the cafeteria, and they're plunking away on their own things. But yeah, kids are learning piano, and it's
Right.
that correlation between reading music and reading, and it's really strong. So it's, yeah, it's a little bit overwhelming to walk in as they're all figuring it out, but I think it'll be good toward the end. Yeah, it is
That's
pretty
great.
cool.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah,
I have a question, is summer school, registration open?
it is. It closes April 24th. So we have at the elementary level, we're close to 90. I hope I'm not stealing Jen's thunder.
Oh,
on this
sorry.
one. That's okay. It's a good question
have-
because I just fired off an email about it, and we are, so yeah, we're actively recruiting kids to come, and at this point, it is open to kids throughout the county to come, and so we always get some kiddos who are just like trying it out, or we have a couple homeschool families who homeschool their children who are bringing their kids to summer school. Talked to a couple of moms, they're like, we're kind of excited to have a break. I'm like, yeah, that sounds like a good, I don't know, it's a good entrance into school, and a lot of fun offerings.
I'm losing track of my days, but I remember Spencer talking to me not too long ago about some of the course-specific promotional posts going out to get people excited, or kids or families excited about certain topics if they want to engage in that way too.
Yep, lemonade stand is back. We have edible chemistry is back. We took a short hiatus, but we
Yes.
are back. That, number fun and phonics. So yeah, it should be good. Volleyball. That's all that's all I got in my brain, but yeah.
Great.
There it is.
Thank
Thank you, Katie.
Thank you.
As Katie comes forward, remind the board and anyone watching, right, the school district does not make money off of summer school, right? It costs us money to do properly, but the benefit, as Jake touches on different times, is that student attendance, right? All those kind of hours, minutes add up. to kind of partial student FTE, which has some positive benefits on how school funding works in our state. So just quick plug on that.
Hi.
Hello, Katie.
We're back from spring break, focusing on finishing the year. I reminded staff yesterday at the meeting that, you know, it gets interesting at the end of the year, but you have to think about it in a positive way. In that you don't get that much more time with these little ones to finish up what you need to do and get them on the right path. So it was a nice reminder. We have a big event tomorrow night. We have our 4K registration event. It's our second annual. We've done some changes to hopefully make it even better, more efficient. We never know how many are coming because there isn't pre-registration, but the whole district wraps their arms around them. Food service is there, Amy Lautenbach is there, the bus company is there and bringing a bus. Our nurses are there and so forth. Kathy's going to be attending, so we're excited about that. I'll report back on how it goes. We're very excited and we're all set to go on that. Playground, not a true report on playground fundraising, but we had quite a week last week. For the last week and a half, we had done 2 teachers. I was in our building leadership team talking about fundraising and how it was going with them and bringing them up to speed. And they stepped up and decided we needed to have a readathon. Well, we really had a great readathon. We raised over about, I have the number, $6,677 in a week, like 2 weeks really. By keeping track of the number of minutes kids read, and we had 18,278 minutes read overall. The highest class was Miss Sperber's class, which read 4,838. We really like to compete at Sawyer. And then there were some in each grade level. Blake Jennerjohn had 855 minutes in 4K. Lucy Sperber had 900 minutes read in K as the top person. First grade, William Adams with 965, and Jackson Peter in second grade with 3,359 minutes read. It was just a great event. We plan to do it again. Our focus for playground, we've done a lot of different things, and you've had some donations that you talked about from the community, but we're really going to turn our focus to our school community and what we can do to continue and keep the ball rolling on that. So we're really excited. The culminating activity is Friday the 24th, where these students I just read get to give me a pie in the face. So I'm looking forward to that. It happens, yeah, it happens at like the dock. It should happen with that too. So there you go. The last thing I want to share is there's a plethora of field trips and experiences that the kids are having, and all wonderful. This year was the first year our second graders went to Barkhauser Nature Preserve in Swamico. And I wish I had the picture to show you, but one of the highlights was a little boy who kept saying he had a tadpole in his boot. He had a tadpole in his boot, and his teacher said, "Yeah, I bet you do, but let's keep moving. Like, let's keep going. You have a tadpole in the boot." So they finally stopped because they did spend time in the pond. They brought extra clothes and they were in there digging. The pictures are wonderful. And he pulled out a tadpole that the body was about this big, not even counting the tail. So he actually really did have that in his boot. So it's been a fun week. Kids are out enjoying it, and we're looking forward to the end of the year and our event tomorrow night. So.
Excellent. Thank you, Katie.
Do we have,
I think they're talking about who's next.
who's next?
I think
Okay.
Jen's coming on down.
Go.
I don't have a tadpole in my name.
Hard to follow that.
It is hard to follow that. I always, no matter who I follow. Okay, just very quickly. In part of my written report, I talked about how I need to end the year with Clipper Academy participants. Those are our new teachers to us this year. So I work with them all year long, once a month or more, depending on the need. And we try to help support them, help them feel like a part of a co-op, and answer their questions and help them through their first year. Recently, I actually applied for a competitive grant through CISA 7, which is the Peer Review and Mentoring Grant for the school year 2027. This is in a collaboration with a couple of other school districts as well. Those of us who won a part in that grant include us, Kewanee, Plymouth, and Kohler. So if we are actually awarded the grant, we stand to get $12,500 or so in funding. And I know that our needs specifically in this district, when it comes to helping support our new teachers, are in the areas of behavior management, assessment, curriculum planning, lesson planning, and then part of that money I would earmark for coaching and support for mentors and mentees through years 2 and 3. So Clipper Academy has been, I would say, longstanding by now. I'll just say it like that, 5 years or so. And in that time, I've known that, the best mentor programs are up to 3 years. So supporting those newest teachers, to keep them here, to help them feel like they're an integral part of our system, because of course they are. And that's really hard. It's been hard to fund. It's been hard to sustain. So my plans, if awarded that grant, include some of those things. So I will let you know. I will let you know. Finally, again, not as exciting as a tadpole in booth, but ADA compliance. So the Americans with Disabilities
But
Act.
very good.
Yeah, I know, right? The reason I keep bringing this up is because I know it affects all of us, not just here in school districts, but in the hospital, in business, in the county, right? And so it's important for me to say that while it is a overwhelming and daunting task, I'm really so proud of the people that we've put together. So when we get the right people at the table, things just happen in a way that seems, I think, I don't know, maybe Mrs. Denise would disagree. But it seems like a less daunting task when we have the right people working. So I just checked, because we have our next meeting tomorrow, and I just checked the 3-phase timeline that I put together at the start of this, where we know what our deadline is in 2027, and we worked backwards from there. And I'm so pleased to say that we are so far ahead of our timeline, and it just feels really great. So in that amount of time, since gosh, I think we didn't start until, I don't think we started until January. We have secured a product for digital remediation of all of the content on our website, which is huge. Our social media presence, thanks to Spencer Gustafson, has been compliant since about mid-year and will continue to be. All content runs through him, and he's got a solid understanding of what that needs to look like. And most importantly, we have a solid plan and time set aside for the professional development of staff, starting soon, actually, where they have an opportunity to sign up for workshops, 5 different workshops, or sometimes set aside during our May 22nd in-service. So I know it's not super exciting stuff, but it's really important. And importantly, that such a daunting item can largely be done behind the scenes without really anyone knowing that all the hard work is being done. So thank you to my team of people who are working on that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jen. As we transition there, Lindsay's coming on down. All right, well, I won't even have to fill something in. You're already there.
No.
Go for it. I'll hold this other thought, yeah.
Just a couple updates that I wanted to share with you. Of course, our special education team is doing what they always do. We're plugging away. But what I wanted to focus a little bit on is our pupil service team. And so what we are doing and have been doing, I would say the last month or so of the school year, is we've really embarked on an exciting journey. I think it's exciting. I don't know that they're quite there yet, but what we're doing is we're revamping who we are and what we do and how we serve students, families, and our overall community. So we have essentially dismantled everything that we've done so far, and we are tailoring how we do things going forward. So what that means is we're redesigning programs, we're figuring out better and improved ways to communicate with parents, with families, with staff. And what we're putting together is a brand new, essentially, product of our pupil service team that we're hoping is much more engaging, is much more interactive, and provides way more opportunities to not just students, but parents, families, and sharing all of the really cool things that we do. So it's really important work. It's really fun work. It's going to take us all summer and all next year. It's not anything that changes quickly, but it's really good conversations. And I wanted you to know that, because I think I'm up in a learning session where I get to tell you a little bit more specifically about some of those specific changes, but I wanted you to know that they're doing the work. They're committed to the work, and we're really excited about some of the new things that we're going to roll out. So more to come on that. 2 fun events that we are doing for our special education team that I want to share is the Goody Duathlon. Maybe you've seen pictures of us doing this in a couple of years past. This is gonna be my 4th year doing it with the kids, and so it is a full day event, a duathlon out at Pulaski School District. And so we walk, it's a lengthy walk for us and the kids, and then we bike. And so we are on supported adaptive bicycles, and we ride with the kids, we pull the kids. The really cool thing about this event is we're supported, all of our students with disabilities who participate and compete are supported by a regular education high school student. And so the student who is selected by one of our special education students, they're partnered up and then they train together. So over the next 6 weeks, or maybe not that long, but you'll see them out hopefully on the track or practicing together, training together. And then we get to go up and compete in Pulaski and represent Sturgeon Bay. So we've got about 7 participants this year. So we'll of course post pictures and things, but it's a really cool event and the kids are really excited, and it's attended by probably, I don't know, 30 different school districts around the state. And so it's just a really fun day and a lot of energy and a lot of excitement. And you know, if you're a competitive person and you like watching high school sports, this is really fun because everybody loses and they're also happy. They're also happy and everybody's encouraging. And so it's just a really fun event. So that's coming up in May. The other one that we're doing is brand new. I'm a little bit nervous about this one, and you'll notice I include myself in it because all of these big ones, it's like a requirement that I have to go along with them. It's according to the staff. It's this one I'm a little nervous about because it's a survival day out at Potawatomi Park. And so we are taking a group of students in 6th and 7th grade this year out to Potawatomi Park, and it is a survival day where we are going to practice all of the skills that we need to make it in nature. And the occupational therapists in the district practice this, love this is like who they are. As people, they love it. I'm not so in tune with nature. And so I think I'm invited along a little bit as like the running joke all day long, like bring Mrs. Berry along. But the kids get a kick out of it. So we're gonna build fires, we're gonna set up tents and hammocks. We have indicated, we have to let the Coast Guard know because we also kayak and canoe on the bay. We haven't lost anyone yet. We've done that a couple of years, but that's all gonna be a part of it. And so it's a really fun day. We've got the Coast Guard coming in because they teach the kids, but we'll be out there all day. I have been told that if this year is a success, we're gonna turn this into an overnight trip for the next year. So I'm gonna do my best to not screw that up, I hope. So really cool things happening. And that's it tonight. Thank you.
There could be tadpoles too, the tie-ins and your thing, one never knows. Just the brief note I was gonna add, following Jen before Lindsay was, as she talks about like those new teacher sessions, yes, there's a lot around instruction, classroom management, all that, but there are also very practical things, like the coordination of having some information for them in the next session about something like health insurance. Right, because, you know, they're at an age where, yeah, there's certain things we take care of in August when they're new employees, but working through things and kids are at different ages, right? And how insurance works and all those types of stuff. So I mean, they kind of pull those practical things into. Jake.
So not as exciting as an overnight survival trip, but health insurance, just following up on that. Ready to hit the ground running with Howden, as Dan mentioned earlier. They're gonna do a quick markets, looking for bids for fully insured, and then I think I don't know if we talked about this last month, but we'll do then is take the next year or so to take a look at what's our long range goal, how does that fit in with compensation, etc. And then Howden is also set to come May 6th for all staff health benefits or a benefits meeting. And then also they are going to join us the April 27th. Jen mentioned the Clipper Academy. She had scheduled to talk about health insurance, what it is, the ins and outs, and they're going to join us for that as well, to talk with our staff. And I think we talked about opening that up to all staff if they just need a refresher on what a deductible versus a premium is, or a copay versus a high deductible health plan. And so that'll happen on the 27th. Finally, I have a note on this in my report in the packet. The May learning session, gonna talk about non-teacher compensation increases. If there's anything specific you want to see, we've talked about separating out between groups, different amounts by employee groups, dollar amounts versus percents. Let me know. I know we're gonna be crunched for time on May 6th. So if you have something you wanna see and let me know ahead of time, that'd be very much appreciated.
I think maybe just to dial in on that, Jake and I have talked about so far would be using, say, a CPI number, right? Using a number like what he's been budgeting for, and then we've often tried to kind of calculate, while it's not exactly by any means what all teachers get, but like kind of average teacher compensation, how that fits, right? Just to make sure you have a few different options in front of you, like we've historically done over time. So as you think about it, if there's something in particular, like Jake said, like, ooh, what about this? He can kind of have that at least in the notes or calculated ahead of time to keep that moving. So yes, Mike has seen it. I didn't bother you all with it yet because we already had packet for tonight. But we have a number of topics. And as Mike and I always agree, our intent is to schedule it for 90 minutes. As I reminded any of the presenters who get anywhere from roughly 10 to 25 minutes, depending on the topic, like if a board member wants to ask questions and the group wants to discuss, you guys know you can go as long as you want. But it's our job to try to say, all right, let's start with the plan for 90 minutes and go from there. So that's what's going on and why Jake said that.
Is May 6th an in-service day? That you're doing the all staff?
No, I don't have a
Or
tight
is that
schedule on May 6th. So 3:40, we'll be in the high school commons for the benefits meeting. I might show up late. I know the plan is to have the athletics facility.
Yeah, I told Jake if he needs to come late to the learning session, no problem. And that was the night that we had just earmarked, not that most of you need to do. We're gonna do new board member orientation at the same time as I told Cliff today, because he was subbing, like, hey, if you want to go to the benefits meeting, I will share the materials. He and I will go through stuff. He and Jake can go through some of the finance presentation, right, that Jake always goes through with you. And again, does that variation with the board as a reminder once in a while. Anyway, so we'll figure that out as all that comes on there.
But expect to, I guess this is, just throw it in here, May 6th is an important learning session, and it's important. We're probably going for earmarking 90 minutes, but it's probably gonna be 2 hours. Just saying.
And we didn't earmark 2 hours because then it would be 2 hours and 40.
Exactly, and so we'll do everything we possibly can to hook.
Yeah.
To hook people.
We got a
make
plan,
sure
but.
We stay on time. All right, so that leaves it.
Yeah, just briefly, I won't review any of the items because I know we have closed session that are in my report. As you know, that very last section of my report, when I send that out to all staff and you guys get it too, I'll just focus on the ads. I had 5 items I added. 2 we've already talked about, Board of Canvassers and the state surplus negotiations. I won't repeat that. The third item I added, which again, you don't see in your printed report because I've added it since. I did a little referendum summary. You know, I often try to share that with you. And again, with the board packet, I didn't bother you with extra emails or the Barrett summary. So I'll just kind of, just very briefly. So 73 districts asked 75 referenda questions. All right. 45 districts had a referendum pass, 28 had a referendum fail. 46 questions passed, while 29 questions failed. So of the categories, right, we know we have the non-recurring operational referendum, which is what we'd be looking at, and really, that's the majority of referenda now. There are recurring referenda, and there are those capital referenda, like when we did the project, right, the 16.84 million in our district several years ago. So non-recurring operational referenda were still the largest number of questions. 32 of those questions passed, 25 failed. Referenda to issue debt, right, for capital improvements was actually the second largest, and I think probably often is. There were 9 capital referenda questions that passed, 3 failed. And then the recurring operational referenda, that's the smallest category typically, right, where that is, once that's implemented, that's on a recurring basis. We know, right, Gibraltar, for example, would have a couple of those. There were 5 recurring operational referenda questions that passed and 1 that failed. So just thought that was a little interesting. WASB, some of you maybe have seen that they also sent out a summary of results. I just pulled a couple things from there. The percentages, so 61.3 approval rate statewide is roughly comparable with recent spring elections, right? I've even seen it like the Journal Sentinel, oh, approval rates are down. Well, they're down from the all-time high. So for example, let me tell you, in 2025, the approval rating was 56.4. 2024, 59.2, 2023, 54.9, 2022, that's the one people think of, that was an 80.2%, right? That was higher than average. And then 2021 was 60.6. So you still see like it's pretty close to around 60%, give or take. So when people say, boy, that one year, it's really high and everything's low since, well, 80% was kind of an anomaly. Yeah, and so it's still roughly in that area. And they also shared, I thought this was interesting, then I'll move along. Several referenda said it has extremely close margins. 25% of the questions were decided by less than 90 votes, which I thought is pretty interesting. When you think like 90 votes, that's really 45, technically one would say 46, right? Because a referendum fails in a tie vote. Going, right, if it was no, is going to yes or vice versa. Interesting. Next item, America 250. I don't know if you've heard of that or not. We heard about it at our superintendent meeting on Friday. All right, so America 250, that's part of the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. We were told about this as superintendents on Friday, and that DPI would soon be sending out an email, which I just so happened to now get in the last couple of days. So there's going to be resources out there, and there is an act that states based, and they're working with the Wisconsin Department of Veterans Affairs as well. Resources, activities, and their kind of requirement next school year is that every school has some sort of event, or at the very least, I forget the wording, I'll just say like educational opportunity that might fall as part of a class. Right, so it's not like every school in the state has to have a big special assembly or nighttime event. It's not necessarily like that, but the door is open at some sort of event or at least educational component about that. So Tina, if you're interested in, coming around for the America 250, once we know a little more about what that actually looks like. So for now, I've made the principals obviously aware, and my note in here is basically, hey, let's let our principals and our teachers become aware of what it is. What's a fit for Sawyer, Sunrise, middle school, high school, and we'll figure it out. Last item, kind of a positive one, lighter note, Wisconsin DNR award recognition. I shared this with Spencer. Matt Propsom actually shared with us. So there are 2 different Instructor of the Year awards given by the Wisconsin DNR, and then there's a group award. So the 2025 Hunter Education Group of the Year ended up being TJ Walker Middle School Safety Education. And so there's a little blurb in here that those of us, so Matt Propson, Mark Smullen, myself, Derek Jenner, John, Dave Labatt, Jonathan Meacham, Nick Nelt, Scott Richard, and Clinton Henry are part of that, right? We organized back in 2017, do all the different things with Hunter Ed, snowmobile, motor, ATV. So evidently the DNR liked it and chose our group as their group of the year. So Matt shared that with us, and I thought I'd throw that at the end of the report. It's always slightly awkward when you're part of the group, but I thought, they've done it. It's a good thing. I will end on that note as we have closed session.
That's a great program. I'll say, my son went through it. It was awesome. So now we're down to closed session. This is going in closed session. 0.8 Wisconsin State Statute 19.851C, considering employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercise responsibility in section 118.22.3 for the purpose of consideration of the renewal or non-renewal of a teacher contract, consideration of issuance of final notice of non-renewal. Also, 0.2, review of staff evaluations for nomination of 2026 Herbie Hauser Award. Action may take place in closed session on closed session topics. We will then report back to open session and plan to adjourn. Do I have a motion? Oh, wait, excuse me, we have a roll call vote on this, Ms. Demise.
Yes. Commissioner Spritka,
Yes.
Commissioner Howard,
Yes.
Commissioner Cruz,
Yes.
Commissioner Stefani,
Yes.
Commissioner Jenner John. Aye. Commissioner Meyer. Yes. Commissioner Starr.
Aye. I just,
2 options.
yeah, I just wondering why there's not a motion required.
There is a motion. I think he was kind of reading it out loud as.
Okay, then we have the second.
We have a second, yeah, we.
Instead of the usual, like everyone can say yes, any opposed, going to closed session, it just goes.
Okay. Do we, actually, we should officially get a second though on that. Andy, you want to give us a
I
second?
will happily give you a second.
Yeah, there you go. All right,
If you want to just slide that in there.
slide that in. Thank you.
And double session.
And then return to, yeah, I believe I did say that.
Yes.
I even color coded in my notes to make sure we get it.
So we have that motion second, we have the roll call vote, so. Here in closed session. Thank you everyone for coming.
Thank you.